Now, this won't make sense to everyone, but it will make sense to some or even a lot of you. There are adversaries slash enemies in this world and beyond this world that can watch us from the very beginning that we come into this world. So
What if life's biggest challenges aren't just random? What if they're actually strategic attacks from an unseen enemy? And more importantly, how do you fight back and win?
they basically can observe our lives, watch us, and they know one thing. They know when you have a purpose that is strong and impactful.
Think about it for a second. Have you ever just looked back at everything you've been through, all the setbacks, the pain, the struggles, and just thought to yourself, why? Why has it been so incredibly hard? It's a question we've all probably asked.
17 or 18 years ago, I was sitting at our dining room table in our house back then. I was working on something on my computer, completely different than what we're doing now, by the way. And my wife walked past me, and it was in that moment that everything stopped and I received a vision.
And today's topic offers a really unique way of looking at it.
All right, welcome to Real Talk English. We're going to dig into a powerful idea from a popular source, the idea that there's a hidden battle being fought for your purpose. We're going to break down the whole concept, and hey, along the way, we'll pick up 10 new English words and phrases to really help us get it.
Okay, let's jump right in. The main idea here is that we're all in this sort of hidden battle. The source suggests there's an unseen enemy, and this enemy has a very, very specific plan for each of us. So this unseen enemy, it's called the adversary, and that word just means an opponent, someone you're in a conflict with. According to the source, this isn't just some vague, negative energy. It's an actual force that can observe our lives, sometimes right from the moment we're born.
So what's the game plan for this adversary? Well, its main goal is to keep you stuck in those low-frequency states like pain, anxiety, and despair. And the reason is actually pretty simple. You see, when you're stuck down there, it's almost impossible to discover who you really are, your spirit. And if you don't know who you are, well, you're never going to find and live your true purpose.
But here's what's really interesting. Who actually gets targeted? The source claims this adversary doesn't just bother with everyone. Nope, it specifically goes after people who have a strong and impactful purpose. That means a purpose that's designed to have a huge effect on the world. So, if your life has been extra hard, this viewpoint suggests it might be because you're actually meant for something big.
So how would they know? Well, the idea is that they can see the potential timeline you're meant to unfold. To unfold just means how something develops over time. It's like they get a little sneak peek of the powerful, amazing future you could create, and their whole mission is to shut it down before you even get started.
Okay, I know this might sound a little out there, a bit abstract, right? Well, the source gives us a really powerful personal story that makes it all very real. It shows exactly how these attacks can happen, and, even better, how they can be beaten.
And a personal story like this, it really helps to drive this home. That's such a great expression, by the way. To drive something home just means to make a point so clearly and with so much force that you can't possibly ignore it. It helps you really feel the idea.
Okay, so check this out. Here's the speaker's journey. About 18 years ago, he gets this incredibly clear vision of his purpose. But then, just 1 week later, his life just implodes. A massive storm of challenges hits him. Not just one little thing, but everything at once, for years. He said it felt like a deliberate attack, totally designed to break his spirit. And it almost did. The whole game changed only when he realized he couldn't win this fight by himself. He had to tap into a higher power.
And this just brilliantly sums up his final victory. He literally says to his adversary, "You lost the plot." This is a fantastic idiom. When someone has lost the plot, it means they've gotten totally confused, acted foolishly, or their plan just completely failed. The enemy thought it could break him, but it miscalculated. Badly. It lost the plot.
Okay, so that story proves this battle can absolutely be won. But how do you do it? Let's break down the actual strategy for finding your own path to victory.
You can really think of this as two different realms, two ways to live. On one side, you believe the enemy is powerful and your life just feels like a constant uphill battle. But when you shift your focus and step into your own power, something incredible starts to happen. The adversary's influence diminishes. It just gets smaller and weaker. And then your life enters what's called an upward spiral of more and more positivity and growth.
So how do you actually make that shift?
Well, the source breaks it down into 3 really powerful steps. First, you have to remember who you really are. You're a spirit, not just your physical body or your thoughts. Second, you let yourself feel your purpose. It's described as this magnetic pull that just draws you towards what you're meant to do. And finally, you just live it. That's the ultimate triumph. That's the final victory where the adversary has absolutely zero power left.
And here it is. This is the secret key to the whole thing. The argument is that the adversary's only real power is the power you give it by believing it's powerful. The moment your belief in its power subsides, it just fades away and gets less intense, it is game over. You've taken all your power back.
Wow, we've covered some pretty deep stuff today. So let's do a quick final summary to go over the key vocabulary we learned and the biggest takeaways from all this. All right, here's a quick look back at all the awesome words and expressions we picked up today. We learned some great idioms like drive this home and lost the plot, and really important words like adversary and impactful. Go ahead and pause here if you want to review the full list.
So what are the big ideas you should really walk away with? First, this idea that your deepest struggles might actually be strategic attacks. Second, that your victory starts the moment you remember you are a powerful spirit. Third, living your purpose is your greatest weapon. And finally, and this is the big one, the adversary's greatest power is just an illusion that you control.
Now that you've got all the key ideas and the new vocabulary down, I really recommend you go check out the original video. It's the absolute perfect way to practice your listening skills with all this fresh in your mind.
And hey, if this was helpful for you and your English learning journey, you know what to do. Please show your support by hitting that like button, dropping a comment, and of course, subscribing to Real Talk English. It really helps us make more content just for you.
I'm going to leave you with one last question to really chew on. What if your greatest struggles are not a curse at all? What if they're a sign? A sign that you have an incredibly impactful purpose and that you are so much more powerful than you've ever been led to believe. Thanks for watching.